right, so welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 87 Extra. And today, guys, we're doing our Pokemon Matchday 4 stream, the penultimate matchday of the group stage. And yeah, a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. So I'm going to let Renk take center stage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're getting closer to the end of the group stage. A lot of things left to be decided, and already some people eliminated last match day, and now we're going to probably try to see who are the ones who make it into the playoffs, and obviously see who arrive with chances to the final match day where everything will be decided, and we'll have everyone who will be taking place in the playoffs and everyone who will be eliminated. And after that, in the upcoming weeks, we're obviously going to have the quarterfinals with the best of 3 sets, which should be very, very exciting.
Yes, definitely, guys. Remember, guys, to like and subscribe. Helps with the algorithm. So let's try to get to 10 likes for today's stream. And nice to see you here, Spectre.
Great seeing y'all too. Wait, hello, can you guys hear me well, or?
Yeah,
all good.
Okay.
Is AD here, or did he freeze?
I'm doing. How about you do the battles, and I'm going to do some real quick.
Okay, fair enough. So I guess we're going to get started right away with the Group A battles that took place. Starting off with this one. Share the screen. So over here, we have a battle between Elibungo and Pyskick, the 2 players who were coming into this top of the standings, tied with Doodle. Both of these players 2-on-1 record, and so a lot on the line, because the winner of this game will be guaranteed to qualify to the playoffs out of Group A, and also obviously put themselves into a great position to potentially top the group in the final match day. Elibungo coming out with Latias, Sylveon, Porygon 2, Hydreigon, Registeel, and Volcanion, while Pyskick has Flygon, Gardevoir, Moltres, Azumarill, Metagross, and Swampert. Spectre, what are your thoughts about this matchup, just looking at both lineups?
I think strictly off preview, it looks like Moltres could be pretty strong in, especially if it just goes with Toxic and Flamethrower. There's nothing that really wants to kind of stay in on it, unless Elibungo goes back and uses this DD Head Smash set, which even then is a bit risky, because you do risk getting burnt, and now you can't do anything at all. I think the keys to winning is really trying to exploit the speed here, because I'm presuming that exploit speed on both ends, because aside from Flygon and Latias, both sides are very, very slow.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Over here, I actually forgot to share something that Eli shared with us, which was obviously his team preview that he usually sends. And we can see it once more over here. Team Elibungo, obviously with the Inter logo, Interista the GOAT, Porygon 2 still the captain, Hydreigon still blazing it, Latias still loves Doodle. I still have no idea what Registeel is supposed to be, but we can see that Sylveon is actually a Serie A champion with the Inter shirt and the Scudetto, and I have no idea what's going on with Volcanion, but it's a wild presentation.
Rifle, a pint of beer, and plenty of
gangster Volcanion.
Gangster moves all around from Elibungo, but we'll have to see if that actually translates into the battle, which is what matters in the end. Remember, the winner of this qualifies to the playoffs and is the first person to qualify out of Group A. So the speed is in normal. will go on and get started. Flygon, the lead for Psychic against the Registeel. Earthquake is going to be super effective damage, over half health. Registeel setting up the rocks already and switching out. Smart into the
Good
High
switch.
Dragon, who dodges with the Levitate ability. Summarill comes in. It has a positive type matchup. There's the D-Dance. The Earthquake is not going to be enough to take out the Summarill.
It's
And
gonna
with
go
the Play
down.
Rock, what effective one-shots
Fantastic.
that High Dragon. Latias comes in to try and get the revenge kill. Stomper switches in. Doesn't tank that Mist Ball well
That's
at
so
all.
huge.
Bruh, Swampert.
Yeah.
Well, you have to switch. Oh, you should have switched.
Second Mist Ball takes out the Swampert and it's a 1-for-1. Gardevoir comes in, but the switching into the Registeel, tanking that Moonblast very well. But this Registeel doesn't have a lot of health left. Moltres doesn't have the heavy duty boots and takes massive damage from the rocks. And it cannot switch out. Yes, you get the skill on the Registeel, but now you cannot switch your Moltres out. Has to go for the super effective Scorching Sands, but doesn't do a lot on the Volcanion. Moltres goes down, and it's a 4 against 4 at the moment. Flygon, faster, doesn't kill with the Earthquake, just barely surviving. The Sludge Bomb, however, doesn't do a lot from the Volcanion. And now, yes, Latias dodging the Earthquake with the Levitate as well. 2 Levitators on Elibungo's team. Good call on the Ice Beam, does a bit of damage. Volcanion comes in as a sacrifice against the Gardevoir, goes down, and now he has a free switch into the Porygon 2, who, with a tri-attack, will be able to take down this Azumarill, who was also a sacrifice. 3-on-3, very, very close at the moment. Metagross comes in, knockoff, that's huge. No Eviolite anymore on that Porygon 2, but now the paralysis on the discharge. This Metagross may not be able to move. Body press, super effective with no Eviolite, that's a lot of damage. And now with the Bullet Punch, it's actually faster because of the added priority and takes down the Porygon 2. Psychic with the advantage at the moment. Switching into the Flygon, but the Dragon Pulse, super effective, takes him out on the switch. Great call from Elibungo. And now this Metagross is going to resist the Dragon Pulse, but gets paralyzed and is so not able to fire off that super effective knockoff and goes down to a second Dragon Pulse. Gardevoir is the only one standing. Moonblast is not enough to take out the Latias, but 1 health, surviving the Gardevoir, takes out the Latias, but now Sakura is able to come in. The Sylveon tanks the Moonblast very well, and with a Hyper Voice, finishes off Gardevoir, and Elibungo, in a narrow fight, picks up the win and qualifies for the playoffs.
And instantly after the game, what I think is that if he didn't switch Metagross, I think probably would have won, because I think Metagross one-shots Latias probably, and then Bullet Punch against Sylveon.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
I think if Metagross got used a bit earlier, especially against Latias, there would have been a lot less damage taken across the team. Easy could just come in, start clicking knockoff, body press, Earthquake, Meteor Mash, because Metagross looked very, very good into Elibungo's team, especially after Registeel went down.
For sure. Yeah, I think that the key turn was that switch back into the Flygon in front of the Latias, like Titanes was mentioning. If Metagross is able to go for a knockoff, doesn't get paralyzed, which you have to get lucky, but if it happens, you don't get paralyzed, fire off a knockoff, and if it doesn't kill, perhaps you can still kill with Bullet Punch. So yeah, that was the key turn. But yeah, in the end, still great play from Elibungo, and proving himself on this stage, coming from the qualifier tournament, is the first person to make it into the playoffs out of Group A. And so massive congratulations to him. And obviously, Psychic, 2-2 record, still has everything to play for in the final match day, which I think will be very, very important for him, obviously. But let's hear it from the man himself who just joined,
I add something?
Eli. Sure, Matt, go for it.
So, of course, both players played very well, but I think one of the other big differences between who won was the fact that Psychic didn't have a response to the Stealth Rocks, and long term, it really affected him.
Yeah, that as well, obviously.
You can see how much Moltres lost, and others as well.
Yes, very, very key, the Stealth Rocks that he set up on turn 1. But let's hear it from the winner himself. Eli, how are you feeling after that win and making the playoffs?
I'm feeling good. Obviously, I'm really happy to make it to the playoffs. Like, to be honest, I thought I wouldn't make it to the playoffs, like, when I first joined the tournament, but I guess I surprised myself.
You surprised yourself and everybody, subverting the expectations. That's what this tournament has been about so far. So many people being proven wrong. And yeah, the surprises don't stop in this tournament. As we head into the second battle, shout out to Kule in the chat. Yes, that was an insane fight. I agree with that. We have to go into the second match, and we have another team sheet over here because this is a huge one. This is going to be Mats against Doodle. This is the official lineup of Team Mats with Infernape, Sceptile, Weavile, Slowking, Noivern, and Empoleon. Mats obviously looking to bounce back after his defeat in the last match day against Elibungo himself, while Doodle picked up a narrow win against Savutian and is sitting at 2-1. So if Doodle wins this game, he also makes it into the playoffs. I don't know, Mats, not about the battle itself, but if you had any thought process that you wanted to share about this squad selection.
Yes. Upon looking at the team that the squad that Doodle had, I knew that Jolteon and Mamoswine were pretty much no-goes in terms of playing. And then I kind of was aware that I kind of a while ago thought I didn't want to play a Articuno against Doodle, but these were some effective Pokemon that I thought could definitely give me a good chance. And Sceptile is back after two kills and an absence of 2 games. So, but that wasn't the main reason I brought him back. But yeah, I felt this was the best team to take on Doodle and give me some hope.
Obviously, yes. As we mentioned before, this is a very important match, not only for Doodle, but for Mats as well. Doodle, if he wins, he makes it into the playoffs, and Mats very much has to win. It's almost like an elimination game if he doesn't win this one. So massive pressure here. We already went over the lineup for Mats. We see it here with the Infernape, Sceptile, Weavile, Slowking, Noivern, and Empoleon. Meanwhile, Doodle setting up with Galvantula, Ferrothorn, Dragonite, Cloyster, Volcarona, and Quagsire. Titanes, thoughts on Doodle's team and how it matches up against Mats?
Yeah, I think the main thing to look out for, I think, would be the Galvantula because I think Mats' whole advantage is that I think apart from Noivern and Empoleon, all of us for the Pokemon are kind of glass cannons. They're very fast, very quick, sweeping type Pokemon, but they can't handle any hits. So if Doodle can just get a sticky webs off, slow down the team, then I think Mats would be in trouble. I mean, maybe he has I don't know, rapid spin or something to remove the hazards, but I mean, I think that'll be the main point of this battle. I think if in terms of type matchup as well, I think Mats also has to favor type matchups because I think speed would be the key to win this battle.
Agreed. Speed usually spoken as the most important stat. Let's see what this battle holds for ourselves. Lots of pressure on both of these players. Noivern coming in, and with the Frisk ability already able to reveal that Focus Sash on the Cloyster. The switch into the Empoleon as Cloyster goes for that Shell Smash becomes very, very strong. But the Liquidation doesn't do a lot of damage to this Empoleon. And the Grass Knot, super effective, takes
I probably
Cloyster
did
down
this
to the
too
Focus
early.
Sash. Still, Cloyster forced to 1% HP and forced to switch out, loses boost. And now Infernape is able to come in for free into this Ferrothorn, who fires off a Leech Seed to do a bit of damage and heal. But now Cloyster has to come in as a sacrifice, takes a Fire Punch, and Mats takes the first kill in the game. Dragonite comes in for free and can set up a Dragon Dance, and he does. Slowking coming in to try and tank this. Outrage, Focus Sash on Slowking himself, survives and goes for the kill. Reversed. And Blizzard, that's massive damage to the Dragonite through the multiscale. Another Outrage does take out the Slowking, but now with Trick Room, Empoleon is actually faster and forces Dragonite to switch out from this Ice Beam. it would have gone down to that attack. And so for now, Mats, it's a 1-for-1, but he's putting himself in a great position. The Lich Seed misses into the Noivern, which is, you know that this Noivern is carrying some sort of fire type move. There it is, the Flamethrower. Dragonite tanks that pretty well, but now Trick Room goes out, and Noivern is faster than Dragonite, takes it out with a Dragon Pulse, and Mats has the lead. Flamethrower, massive damage on the Galvantula, and the Thunder lands as well, gets the paralysis, and so Galvantula is faster, but misses the Thunder.
Can they miss even with Compound Eyes?
Yeah, crazy there. The ball switch does get the kill on the Noivern in the end, and it's a 2-for-2. But Volcarona switches out from this Infernape, which has a Rock Slide 4 times effective onto the Galvantula, into the Volcarona, of course.
U-turn.
U-turn is great to pivot out, but the Sceptile has been poisoned, but it has a positive matchup into the Quagsire. Doesn't use Shed Tail, but the Protect from Quagsire heals a bit and makes some more damage with the Toxic. The Toxic misses, it doesn't matter because Ferrothorn would have been immune to it anyway. But the Hidden Power is Hidden Power Fire, quite effective. And the Lich Seed doesn't affect the Sceptile as it's a grass type. Doodle probably predicting a switch right there. Galvantula comes in as the Sacrificial Lamb, goes down, but the Sceptile is going to go down to this next turn of Poison, and Doodle secures it with the Protect. Matt's deciding not to switch out, and Sceptile goes down. It's a 3 against 3. Empoleon comes in, and we know it has Grass Knot, and it one-shots the Quagsire. Doodle knew there was Grass Knot and decided to stay in. And now Volcarona comes in, Desperation sets in, goes for the Quiver Dance, try to set up for the sweep, but this Empoleon just does too much damage. Volcarona has to get the one-shot. It doesn't. This Empoleon is so bulky. Another Surf is enough. And only Ferrothorn standing for Doodle, the back-to-back finalist, back against the wall. The Ice Beam does a lot of damage into the Ferrothorn. It's healing with the Lich Seed, but the switch into the Infernape is very key to deny any more healing. And that's going to be it. The Fire Punch, quite effective, takes down the Ferrothorn. And Mats, back against the wall, in the brink of elimination, gets the win against Doodle. Massive, massive upset. Crazy game. Eli, thoughts on that game? Because that was insane. I still cannot believe that.
That battle was really good. Like Mats and Doodle played extremely well. But it was Mats who ended up taking the victory.
It was crazy. It was insane. Just thinking about it, just how Mats... I'm going to ask him himself, because Mats, when you joined the tournament for Season 1, your only knowledge about Pokemon came from the anime. You hadn't even played most of the games. And here you are, a few seasons later, beating the person who became champion in Season 1 and were the finalist in Season 2. How does it feel? And how was the preparation and the battle itself?
It's huge. Albeit it will come down to nothing if I don't win next week. But still, there's something about penultimate group stage match days for me. Season 1 on last was my only win. Season 2, my best win of all time prior to this, and Season 3, a win against the favourite to eat me in the tournament. And preparation-wise, I had to first think of how I'm going to attack Doodle. Secondly, how was I going to stop his sweeping? And thirdly, I did get to have some practice against his full team, so not just the odd one on random battles. So that helped. And on the Trick Room, I was doing some digging as to what Spectre's moves could help me if he did use a Dragon Dance, a Quiver Dance, Shell Smash, and I didn't actually invest much into Slowking's special attack, hence the not full damage on Dragonite. But yeah, even though you could pick apart some of Doodle's actions, it was still very difficult for me to stay on top. It was a definite test of character and concentration to make sure I could see myself over the line.
Crazy, insane. I don't know if anyone else on the panel has a question for Mats in that game, because that was a must-win game against one of the favorites, and he got it. So I don't know if anyone has a question. Fair enough. If that's the case, well, massive for Mats, moves up to 2 wins and 2 losses. Doodle down to 2 wins and 2 losses as well. Same as Psychic after losing earlier on. And so now we have to hop into the next battle, the last one out of Group A. And it's a huge one because it's going to be Savutian against Steve. Both of these players 1 and 2 in the standings. And so that means that this game right here is an elimination game. Loser is out of the tournament. And the winner of this match obviously moves up to 2 wins as well. And we'll have to battle it out in the final match day to see if they can qualify. Steve over here with Slowbro, Jirachi, Electros, Chandelure, Chinchino, and Gorevis. Meanwhile, Savutian with Rotom Wash, Latios, Gengar, Porygon C, Excadrill, and Spiritomb. Spectre, some sort of analysis of the matchup before we jump into this one?
I think probably Latios is looking very, very strong here. I'm interested to see the fact that there's no Salamence on Steve's team, a very, very strong fighter for the first 3 weeks. So maybe there's something that he's got cooking up, especially with the fact that Goribus can use Shell Smash, Jirachi can use Calm Mind. So maybe he's trying to go for a little bit of like a heavy breaker role with a Chandelure, who has a special attack style almost at the level of Kyogre. So we'll see how that goes.
Definitely, yeah. It's going to be massive. Let's just jump into this one. Loser is out. Massive pressure for both Steve and Savutian. Already the Shadow Ball from the Latios. So
what
close
a
to
hit.
getting the knockout. I don't know why Chandelure went for Hex. Didn't have Shadow Ball. A Shadow Ball would have been enough. The switch into the Chinchino is clutch, which is immune. Walking alone, we see that Savutian already has always the the nicknames to tease their opponents. We know that Steve is a Liverpool fan. The substitute and landing the Focus Blast, huge damage on the Jirachi. Sen Headbutt comes in, knocks down the substitute, but the Shadow Ball is going to be enough to take down the Jirachi, and Savutian takes the lead. Gorevis coming in, setting up the Shell Smash in front of the Gengar that is paralyzed. We're going to see if Gengar, no, it's not going to be able to fire back. Would have been paralyzed. Darwin, the Bricklayer, comes in to tank that Scald. But this Gorevis is very dangerous. However, chooses to switch out in front of the electric move. That was this Bolt switch. Electros tanks that very well. Here comes Athens 2007, reminding that final. But this Excadrill has Mold Breaker, so it ignores the Levitate and is able to one-shot the Electros with the Earthquake. Scald comes in, does get the burn on this Rotom Wash. It doesn't matter as it's a special attacker. Pain Split heals a bit of damage on the Chinchino. But now this Chinchino has a super effective Bullet Seed, and here it comes. We know that it's guaranteed to get 5 hits because of this skill link ability, and 5 hits is going to be enough to take down the Rotom Wash. So Steve picking up a Pokemon right now, still down in the count. Another paralysis on the Gengar, so unlucky for Savutian so far. Inzaghi comes in, the Porygon C gets a special attack boost with the download, but Skull does a lot of damage and gets another burn on top of that. Slowbro comes in to try and tank this move, but with the special attack boost, this Porygon C is so strong that Tri-Attack does over half, and so it's able to switch out once again. Shadow Ball on the prediction takes out the Chandelure. Yeah, no Eviolite because Porygon C is a super effect. The Slowbro, I mean. Tail Slap is able to take down the Porygon C in the end. This Chinchino putting up a lot of damage at the moment, and now it's going to get burned, so the damage on the Chinchino is going to be heavily reduced. Sucker Punch, a lot of damage. Bullet Seed is going to do nothing now that there's a burn on this Chinchino. This Spiritomb so comfortable at the moment in this position. Seems like Savutian putting himself in a great position. Slowbro has to come in, dodges this Sucker Punch because there was no attack made on the side of Steve. Paralysis is huge. on the Sucker Punch, and the Fire Blast does a bit of damage, but this Spiritomb is so tanky. The Sucker Punch misses because Slowbro went for the Calm Mind instead of the attacking move, and now there's a mind game. Does Steve go for another Calm Mind? He does, as the Spiritomb gets paralyzed. Once again, the paralysis is helping Steve so much. Shadow Sneak does barely anything to the Slowbro as it sets up once again. +3 special attack and defense, so strong this Slowbro at the moment. Goes even for another one, +4. Will-O-Wisp, yes, you're going to get some damage to negate those leftovers, but it's not going to do much to help. Shadow Sneak, again, not a lot of damage, and the Fire Blast now does a lot because of all of those Calm Minds. The Spiritomb, sadly, not so comfortable. He's able to go for a Sucker Punch now that Steve has attacked, but with the Fire Blast equaling the amount of Pokemon. It's a 3 against 3, but this Slowbro is a real problem. Shadow Ball, there's so many special defense boosts that does basically nothing. Fire Blast takes down the Latios, and now Steve is ahead suddenly because of the massive play with this Slowbro. Shadow Ball, once again, is able to pick up the KO because of how powerful Gengar is. Skull from the Gorebyss takes out the Gengar, and it's Escadrille against the world. Mold Breaker once again. Earthquake is so strong. That's over half to the Gorebyss. He survives the Skull, but gets burned. Gets burned on the final moment. If he hadn't gotten burned, this Earthquake would have killed. But now it doesn't, and the Hidden Power takes out the Escadrille, and Steve, by the skin of his teeth, manages to win this game and stay alive. Meanwhile, Savutian, commiserations to him. He loses this game that was very close and is eliminated from the tournament. Titan-S, thoughts on this game?
I mean, yeah, it was neck and neck. We saw a lot of battles in this tournament, which were neck and neck down to last Pokemon. This is no different, and yeah, I think that I think if Excadrill didn't get the burn, I think it could have won, because I think Earthquake does KO, and then I think because I believe Excadrill at that point was down to it's very difficult because I don't know if Bullseye would have KO'd, but like it's a fine match, and I think I didn't really see any significant errors from either side, so I think this was one of the cases of just both players gave it all, and the better ones just won.
I agree. Yeah, that final burn, this Gorebyss is so clutch to get that and deny the Excadrill getting that kill and potentially winning the game for Savutian. Mats, do you have any thoughts about this game before we move on to Group B?
Not a lot, but I think the status moves were huge in helping Steve. Important win as well. And I've got Savutian next, so I don't know whether it's better or worse that Savutian is out. From my point of view in the game.
Yeah, obviously, you don't know if it's better to have Savutian in the competition, and he's obviously competing and trying to win that game to make it into the playoffs. So that also adds tension. So you don't know, and now maybe Savutian is able to play without that tension now that he's eliminated and potentially bring the best out of him. We'll have to see. However, very interesting conversation over there. So that kind of wraps us up for Group A. Now, moving into Group B, we do have a bit of an announcement because the battle that was supposed to take place between Gigi and Slither will not happen, as both players had trouble scaling up their game. Gigi, in the end, ended up being the one that conceded, and so the win will eventually go to Slither. Obviously, the game doesn't really have an effect on the standings because both players were eliminated the last match day. But I think obviously we still want to see everyone, kind of just have a go, and even if they cannot win every game, just do their best. So we wanted to see more battles, but it is what it is. We're not going to be hard on them for not able to find time, and that means that we have to move on to the next replay that we have over here. Before we jump into the last two battles. Actually, I need to share the lineup because this is going to be my battle over here. And it's a big one. It's going to be me against Seb Ball. Both of us currently 2-on-1 on the standings. And so a defeat at this stage would be very, very detrimental to our chances of potentially making it into the playoffs. And a win, the winner is essentially qualified to the playoffs. This is my lineup with Florges, Fortress, Hitran, Keldeo, Superior, returning once again to the lineup with the Captain Armand and Landorus Syrian. Pretty much the same one that I used against Spectre. That one was a defeat. So obviously trying to turn Fortress around with this team. And if we go over to the battle itself, we can see the lineup from Seb as well and what he has cooked for this match day. Here we have it with Seb bringing Machamp, Clefable, Cryogonal, Alomomola, Nidoking, and Tyranitar finally making his debut in this stage. Yeah, so Elibungo, do you have any thoughts on the matchup just looking at both teams from how they're setting up?
Not that much thoughts. Like, of course, it's like
Spectre. Sorry, you can.
A moment.
Like, of course, it's refreshing to finally see Tyranitar in a battle.
So yeah, Tyranitar finally making an appearance. I think really, it's really good. Obviously Nidoking, obviously the big threat. I looks like Landorus could probably go. It looks pretty even. There's obviously chances for both teams to kind of get out there and win. I think the big point of concern will really be if Cryogonal will serve as sufficient speed control, because there could be up to 3 Pokemon that are faster than it and can land a very powerful, super effective move, and sometimes maybe onto that very, very frail defense stat that it has.
I agree. So I won't be commentating this game. I don't know if anyone wants to take the chance to have some play-by-play and commentate every turn.
Would you like to have a go, T10S?
All right, sure.
All right, the stage is yours. This is the battle between Seb Ball and myself, Renk, to see who can make it into the playoffs. Let's go.
So first of all, we have Alomola up against Keldeo, both at a disadvantage. And he goes to the Fortress, and then down the flip turn. Now he switches to Nidoking. Ooh, interesting matchup here. And I switch to Landorus, who gets to Intimidating, but it won't matter because Nidoking is a special attacker and the Flamethrower does good damage. Now it goes to Florges. Now Alomola, 2 very bulky Pokemon. Does get a Toxic off. Then the flip turn again. Remember, Alomola has Regenerated. Now Nidoking, super effective damage. Could be here. No, switch to Landorus. And ooh, Landorus almost goes down there. Back into the Alomola. Good damage on it with the Earthquake, Stab Earthquake. And now the Keldeo, who eats up that flip turn. Now I'm going to see Machamp. And Keldeo also has flip turn. Now up against the Fortress, close combat, does good damage, but Fortress is of course very tanky. And now it's on to Nidoking. Now the Heatran. And ooh, very clever there from Renk there to bait Seb into the Outpower. The Earthquake, and he baits him as well with Levitate. A lot of switching going on. The Outpower on Clefable does nothing. Now teleports to Tyranitar, who makes his debut at last in this tournament. He goes for the Dragon Dance. Body Press doesn't KO, 4 times super effective, and now it has the weakness policy as well. But he can get, but Renk does get Intimidate off. But Earthquake does KO. That must be a scoffed Landorus. Very big there from Renk. Close combat from Machamp. Let's take the Landorus down. And now it's Keldeo. Faster, but he switches to Alomola. Now the flip turn. I think Superior will be coming out here. Yes, indeed he does. And now the substitute. Very good move there from Renk. The Leaf Storm, of course.
Ooh. The Toxic should do it.
And the Toxic can bring it down.
But the Wish won't matter because Alomola went down. The Bullet Punch cannot take the substitute out, and Leaf Storm gets Machamp down. I think Seb's in trouble there, I think. the Clefable, it has Unnerve, of course, but Renk goes to the lead seed. Saboteur finally goes down, but Superior's back to full HP. The Moonblast does not get the special attack drop, and now lead seed. Ooh, now there's Moonlight. Very interesting battle is. Goes for the teleport.
Oh,
No, I think
no.
that's Leaf Storm, yeah, does one hit KO Cryogonal. Now I think I'll go back to Clefable, yep. Lead seed again. Moonblast. Ooh. The Leaf Storm still doesn't take it out. And the Moonblast, I think I would have gone for Moonlight.
And now it should with the. Yeah, that's. Ooh.
And it's down. And now I think it one-shots Nidoking Hill. Superior. Oh, it misses. Flamethrower still doesn't take it out. And Leaf Storm lands this time. And Renk with a audacious 5-0 win against one of the other tournament favorites, Seb Ball.
Just like last season.
Just like last season. I think it was on the final match day as well. Not the final, the second to last as well. That time
it was on the final match day last time.
It was on the final match day? Okay, thank you for correcting me. Matt is like my stats guy. He always remembers the previous tournaments better than me. Yes, it was the Curse Arcanine that time that was the tech. Now it was Substitute and Superior, which it isn't that weird, but it's still the tech that allowed me to escape on this one. Obviously, the thing that Seb had prepared for Superior was Mirror Coat on Alumomola. Had he gone for Leaf Storm on that Alumomola and not taking it out, the Mirror Coat would have bounced the damage back to me and Superior would have gone down. So very clutch that he went for the Substitute there, and that was my plan the whole time. Very tense because I really thought that if I lost to Seb, and it was a real possibility that I did because he's a really good trainer, I would have had very low chances to qualify in the final match day. But in the end, I'm able to get the victory and make it into the playoffs. And it's all thanks to this guy over here that made it happen. So obviously my captain is the one who will end up carrying me in the playoffs. I think that it's who I'm going to trust anymore. I'm not going to bench you again unless, the situation really happens. This is what it is. It's the year of the snake, baby. We're coming for it. Finally, after 2 seasons of disappointment, it's bound to happen eventually. I don't know if anyone else has questions or thoughts about this game.
I mean, what I would say is that I think because I noticed that a lot of your Pokemon, I think there was only, Florges might have been at full health, but apart from Florges, I think a lot of your other Pokemon were still, they took some damage. So I think if, in my opinion, I think, because Leaf Storm, it's a great move, it's a great set, but the issue with it is that it only has 8 PP. So I think if Clefable just spammed Moonlight, Superior couldn't have taken it out because of Unnerve. So I think if it just spammed Moonlight and then Superior would have eventually ran out of Leaf Storm PP, then I think Superior could have gone down and Seb might have found a way back in the match because, as I said, a lot of your Pokemon took damage. But again, fine margins.
Well, doesn't Moonlight can't you only use it like 8 times?
You can, but at that point, Leaf Storm was already used around 3 to 4 times already.
Yeah, I think that he should have been able to start the Leaf Storms, but even then, the damage was already done. I had taken out 3 of his Pokemon, and if he stalls out my Leaf Storms, I let Superior go down and down to 4, and I'm still in an advantage position. But yeah, there's a case to be made that the battle could have continued if Seb had stalled me in that one. And that means that because we didn't have a battle between Gigi and Slither, we only have our live battle left to happen.
There's another Pokemon I want to shout out.
Go ahead.
I unfortunately don't remember how to pronounce his name, but he's a ground and flying type. He was... Yes, he provided quite a lot of damage in the earlier stages of the battle. He was dodging a lot of Seb's attacks. So on both sides of the battling, he was fantastic along with Superior.
Yeah, obviously, and taking the kill on the Tyranitar, which was extremely set up and could have potentially sweep my team. That was another key turn, being able to take down that kill. Massive from Landers as well, which is why it's also one of the staples on my team.
You have Seb's
we only
number.
have one more battle. I do so far. I hope that if we continue battling in future seasons, that I can continue to beat him. But I know that he's gonna have he's gonna be looking for revenge against me for sure. We have this battle right here. It's gonna be the Shinobis against the Stars. It's gonna be Titanes against Spectre. Massive win. Obviously, Titanes, the only undefeated player in the tournament, 3 wins, 0 losses, and Spectre with a 2-1 scoreline can put himself into a great position to make the playoffs. If he wins this game, now he doesn't mathematically qualify because Seb still has to play in the final match day alongside him, and Seb did beat Spectre, so he holds the better head-to-head. So even with a win, his Spectre doesn't automatically qualify, but he will put himself into a great position. And obviously, Titanes still looking to top the group if he gets a win here. If Spectre wins, eventually, Spectre can even top the group, which is the crazy part. So a lot on the line on this game between two heavyweights. I don't know if you guys have set up your battle on the back.
We're not set yet. I'm setting up right now.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Eli, do you have any thoughts ahead of this heavyweight clash between Titanes and Spectre?
Well, of course, this battle is going to be a really exciting one. I'm really looking forward to it, and that's all I have to say.
Fair.
I just want the challenge.
Good. Great from that. Matt, thoughts on the game?
I think it's going to be very exciting. This is one that could definitely go either way. Spectre won every battle in the qualifiers except for against Titanes. But also, if Spectre doesn't win this, I think he's in huge trouble because as well as Spectre, Seb also is playing a battler who he's expected to win against. So not winning today could be very costly in the head-to-head.
It could. It definitely could. Now, for the people who are in the battle, please wait for us because we still have the lineups that Spectre just sent. I need to zoom into this one. The Stars in Lumios City against the Shinobis are going to be Terrakium. I don't know who Terrakium is because I don't think Terrakium is in your team. Okay, never mind. Terrakium, Victini, Bisaflor, I forgot what that Pokemon is, Hippopotamus, Manaphy, and Grifeldis. I don't recognize the nicknames off the top of my head, but this is the lineup coming out of Spectre. But we don't have much time to dwell on this because we don't want to keep the other guys waiting. I'm going to put both of the battlers in the background. We already have the link over here with the live battle that's going to take place between these two players. Massive implications in the Group B standings as we speak. Here it is. Okay, yeah, from Spectre, it was Mandibus, Hippopotas, not Hippopotas, Hippowdon, Victini, Venusaur, Terrakion, and Manaphy. Meanwhile, Titanes with Crocodile, Garchomp, Togekiss, Greninja, Ludicolo, and Azelf. So I think that this is very much the standard lineup for Titanes. Meanwhile, Spectre, the Hippowdon and the Mandibus are two of his Pokemon that he has used before, but they are not like staples of the team. Victini, Manaphy, Terrakion, and Venusaur, I think that are definitely some of the more powerful mounts that he has at his disposal. Yeah, it's going to be massive. Obviously, Spectre, massive pressure. If he doesn't win this game, things very complicated for the final match day. But if he wins, he puts himself in a great position, not only to qualify to the playoffs, but to top the group as a whole. And Titanes obviously looking to win and to try and fight for the top position in the final match day. A lot on the line here. Something that I forgot to mention, with Seb's defeat, Titanes qualified to the playoffs even before this game. So Titanes' spot in the playoffs is not in danger in this battle. But if he wants to top the group, it's very much require that he wins this game. So very, very massive there. Shout out to the reigning champion, AL, who is here. I don't know if I can show his comment over here. Can you guys hear me? I don't know if I'm lagging, if I've been lagging this whole stream.
I can hear you fine, although I do sometimes hear background noise afterwards. I can hear you fine, although Renk is now on mute.
Who even muted me? I don't know. I was saying, shout out to AL, reigning champion in the chat. Yeah, let's hope that I don't have any issues with my Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on over here, but we're still waiting for Titanes and Spectre to think about their list. Finally, we see it here. Mandibus hitting the field up against this Crocodile. The Intimidate comes off, even though Mandibus usually doesn't really use his attacks. It's a very defensive Pokemon, but still better to have it than to not to have it for Titanes. We're going to have to see Stealth Rocks right away. Super effective U-turn, does not do a lot of damage with the Intimidate. But this Crocodile has already been able to set up the rocks, which is huge. And now we're going to have to see what Spectre decides to switch into after the U-turn. It's going to be the Terrakion. It's faster than the Crocodile, and it's threatening some really big fighting type damage. We should be able to take down this Crocodile. So unless this crocodile is not holding the Choice Scarf because he set up the Stealth Rock, we're probably going to see a switch. There it is. Let's switch into the Togepi Flinch. But Spectre predicting that and switching into the Hippowdon. There's the Earth Slash. Gets the flinch. We know that it's a 60% chance. That's why it's named Togepi Flinch. That's what Togepi has been doing this entire tournament. Hit people with Earth Slash and flinch them to death. There's the first one. And so that's 36% damage for free, basically. Agüero, the Manaphy, hits the field. Takes some damage from the Earth Slash as well. We see a lot of leftovers on the side of Spectre. Another flinch.
Ooh.
So difficult to break through these Togekis when over 50% of the times it's flinching you and you cannot even move. Complicated for Spectre right here. Even if he wants to set up a Tail Glow, this Togekis is faster, and with 2 Earth Slash, it's going to take you out. So already a good position for Titanes over here. Another Earth Slash comes out. Another flinch. 3 for 3 on the flinches. Very, very lucky for Titanes to get 3 for 3 on the 60%. Unfortunate for Spectre. And yeah, he just decides to let Manaphy go down, and without losing much health. Titanes already with a Pokemon advantage. The Stone comes in, gets the one shot on the Togekiss, gets it out of here. So that's
about to say he's got to find a way.
Yeah, I agree. He needs to find a way past the Togekiss. And the Stone Edge faster, getting the one shot, ended up being the key difference.
It's a good switch.
Out from the Ludicolo into the Venusaur, which tanks that energy ball very, very well, obviously. Quad resisting. Great switch. Rain Dance comes out, but the Sludge Bomb, lots of damage, and gets the poison, which is huge. This poison is going to take Ludicolo out the very next turn. So I believe that Titanes is probably just going to look to attack with an Ice Beam, get some damage on the Venusaur. And yeah, Ludicolo ends up going down, and that's a Pokemon advantage to Spectre. This Venusaur now on the rain cannot be hit quite hard with Fire-type damage, but this Assault probably has Psychic-type damage, but that's why you have the switch into the Mandibus, which is a Dark-type and is immune to the Psychic-type. No heavy-duty boots, that's right. So he does take damage from the rocks, pretty significant one, but this Mandibus still in a great position up against the Psychic-type that is the Assault. Nasty Plot coming out, boosting up its special attack. Super effective foul play, but the Focus Sash makes sure that Assault can stay alive for one more turn. Goes for the super effective Thunderbolt, and with the special attack boost, takes down the Mandibus. And so that's 2 for 2. But now Terrakion hits the field, and you would expect Terrakion to be faster. Goes for the close combat, takes down the very weakened Assault. And so very quickly, Spectre responds and takes the Pokemon lead once again. Now, what's going to be the response? Now, Titaness has some great responses into this Terrakion. All of his remaining Pokemon hit it for super effective damage. Garchomp is one of them, with an Earthquake potentially. Here comes Hippowdon. Thanks that Earthquake decently well, he should be able to survive another one. So we're going to have to see what the choice from Titaness here is, trying to break through. The Outrage does more, but it's not enough. And this lack of heals Hippowdon back to half health. And yeah, this Garchomp is locked into Outrage. It can only Outrage until it gets tired. And so there's another one, does get the kill and gets confused. But that's still really, really big for Titaness. He can always switch this Garchomp out to get rid of that confusion. And it's a 3-against-3, very close battle as we knew it would be between these two amazing players. Oh, but the Titaness deciding to stay in, doesn't get hit in confusion. And with the Earthquake, is able to take down the Vintini. Messi, the header, goes down. Titaness gambling over there. If he had hit himself in confusion, maybe Victini gets the kill, but Titaness breaking through confusion and getting the kill with the Earthquake. Close combat comes out, takes the knockout on the Garchomp. Rofkin gets some damage at least, but it's a 2-against-2. And here comes Greninja. I'm guessing that Greninja is faster, and here comes the Venusaur. He predicts it with the Psychic. He's able to take down the Venusaur. Super effective damage. It's all down to the Terrakion. Megahorn comes out, super effective, but another Focus Sash does allow Greninja to survive, and with another extra sensory, takes down the kill, and T10S remains undefeated. 4 wins, winning this battle 2-0. Amazing performance from both players. Crazy, crazy game. Damn. Mats, immediate thoughts after that match as we bring the protagonists back on.
Yeah, like you said, very, very good. One thing I was wondering about in the ending, judging by what the few Pokemon left might have had, is that was it not worth having the Pokemon nicknamed Alex's horse to sacrifice himself against Greninja? Then the Focus Sash goes down, and then use Venusaur to try and inspect the game.
I don't think it would have mattered unless this Greninja is holding a choice item. Even then, it doesn't matter because Extrasensory is super effective damage on both Pokemon, so that was a great call from Titaness. So if Terrakion goes down, Greninja is faster, so you don't even take out the Focus Sash. Greninja becomes a Psychic type, and so Venusaur is not able to one-shot it, and even then there's a Focus Sash, so Greninja would have been able to take down the Venusaur with another Extrasensory. So I think that the moment that Greninja hit the field against those two Pokemon and is faster, the game was over. So just amazing preparation from Titaness and obviously amazing battling. But there were some moments where Spectre was on the lead in that game, and yeah, it was very, very back and forth. The flinches from Togekiss coming up huge again to take down the Manaphy for free, but Terrakion with a great response. Amazing back and forth game. Let me come to the winning side. Titaness, amazing battle, 4-0 in the tournament. How are you feeling, and how was the preparation and the battle itself?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good, but I fair play to Spectre because that Terrakion choice scarf, it completely caught me off guard because I was not expecting that at all. So yeah, luckily I did have Focus Sash on a couple of my Pokemon. So I did prepare for that just in case, because I saw that Spectre had some very powerful, he had some Victini, of course, could one-shot Pokemon with Bolt Strike and Fusion Bolt. And then there was, of course, Manaphy, you could set up a Tail Glow. And then there was, of course, there was Terrakion, who was also very good at attacking as well. So yeah, that's why I put a couple of Focus Sashes on a couple of my Pokemon. But yeah, I was actually expecting Klefki to come as well, but it didn't come. I was expecting Klefki to come, so I was going to use Crocodile. I was going to use Taunt on Klefki and take it out quick. But yeah, I mean, listen, I did try to prepare for all 9 of my Pokemon, and yeah, I think seeing as how I won, I think I did do that pretty decently, and yeah, I was yeah, I think because I was planning on actually when I switched to Ludicolo, I thought, okay, I could maybe sweep his team here because I think my Ludicolo had super effective moves against all of its Pokemon. But again, that Terrakion, Stone Edge, Toy Scoff, it caught me off guard. So yeah, I think fair enough, Spectre completely bamboozled me with that. But luckily, my preparations matched with that pretty well. So yeah, good game, man, good game.
Amazing game indeed. Spectre, commiserations on the loss. Pretty rough considering that you were looking to put yourself in a great position into the final match day. Now you'll have to battle it out in the final game. What were your thoughts during the game and with the preparation and how it ended up playing out?
Yeah, no, of course, fair play to him. His prep definitely was really well done, especially with the pairs of sashes. I definitely know that I should have been a bit more aggressive with trying to play up hazards, and I definitely did catch me a bit lacking on that. I definitely did have like a bit of a brain fart moment, especially with like Victini coming in against Garchomp. I probably should have sacrificed Venusaur instead, but overall, just great play by him. I'm hoping that this last week I can kind of just luck out and make it into the playoffs.
Obviously, yes. We're going to be looking at the standings in just a moment. While I edit a few of the stats, can people just read the comments here left by AL and just what his thoughts on the game were?
I guess I could then. Both Spectre and T10S have been really good from what I've seen. The battle could go either way. Let's see what happens. This was referring to before the battle. Really good prep from T10S with the Greninja. If you didn't have Focus Sash on Greninja, or how do you say that next word? Terrakion, which I assume was Choice Scarfed, would have swept the remaining 3 Pokemon with
Close
CC.
combat.
Oh yes, Close Combat. Also, wonder why Spectre ran out of leftovers on Mandibuzz over Boots when it has Roost.
Also, I think one thing I was kind of counting on was I thought that like I think you also mentioned this in the battle match, but yeah, Stealth Rock remained on the field forever because I don't think Spectre made any preparations for any hazard effects. So I think that also probably made an impact.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely was a bit lacking on that. Just a moment. Sorry, Mom, I gotta step out real quick. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
See you, man.
Cheers, man.
I don't think I'm going to have enough time to edit the entirety of the Pokemon stats because I kind of wanted to show the Pokemon leaderboard as well, which is something that we haven't been looking at in a while. But I guess that to close out the stream that has almost gone on for an hour already, and so that we can all move on. Ahead of the final match day, let's look at the standings over here. Let me zoom in a bit.
Is it confirmed that I go through? That I'm first?
No, it's not, but we're going to talk about that. Here we have Group A, Elibungo, the only person who has qualified to the playoffs out of this group, still not secured first place, but putting himself in a great position because it's in his hands. If he wins his last game, obviously, he's going to be first place. And then we have a huge cluster over here. Tied on 2 wins, Psychic, Doodle, Steve and Mats, and Savutian, sadly, with only 1 win, the only person eliminated. And I want to shout out Savutian because I think that he's gotten extremely unlucky this tournament. He only has a -1 PD, which is better than both Mats and Steve, who are sitting atop of him. And that shows that Savutian has kept most of his battles very, very close. He only lost by 1 Pokemon against Doodle in that crazy match where he used Bounce on Cobalion instead of another attacking move on that Galvantula. He also lost this match against Steve in pretty heartbreaking fashion. And so Savutian, just fine margins, is eliminated. But I think that
He also beat
skill-wise,
Eli.
yes, he also beat Elibungo. The only loss that Elibungo has was to Savutian. So I think that skill-wise, Savutian had what it took to make it into the playoffs, but that's just how it goes. Fine margins. and he is eliminated.
Also, what
And-
I also would say as well is that I think Psychic has a pretty big. Of course, Elibungo's true, but I think Psychic also has a pretty big advantage because if you look at a Pokemon difference, there's with Doodle is 3. I suppose he can make up with that, but with Steve and Max, there's a significant Pokemon difference. So I think that does give Psychic a pretty good advantage.
Yes. I obviously head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. So if two players have played against each other and they are tied, the head-to-head between those two players is what determines who advances. But if there are like multiple people tied on the same scoreline, which could for sure happen, looking at how this group is playing out, and head-to-head is a bit confusing, Pokemon difference is going to play a huge factor in that, obviously. And we're going to look at the fixtures for the next match day to see how this has implications in the standing.
You know what's also scary as well from my point of view?
Yes.
I could win by 1-0 and go through, but or I could also even win by 6 and be eliminated.
It could happen. It could very much happen. The thing is that Steve does have the head-to-head over you, which is why he's ahead of you in the standings. You have this head-to-head over Doodle. So if Doodle and you end up in the same scoreline, you also go ahead of him, and Psychic. So yes, that would be incredibly massive on your end if you get that win against Savutian. We're gonna check the pictures in a bit. Over here in Group B now, Titanes and myself, the two players that are qualified to the playoffs. Now, why isn't Titanes guaranteed first? Because he has to play against me in the final match day. And if I beat Titanes, we are both ties on 4 wins, and I have the better head-to-head, and so I top the group. So Titanes, you have to go on a perfect run if you want to top the group. It is what it is. If I beat you, I finish first. So it's going to be a battle for first in that final match day. Then we have Seb and Spectre tied on 2 wins, the two players that have not had their fate decided yet. Seb did beat Spectre in the tournament, so Seb holds the better head-to-head. Seb has to play against Gigi, and Spectre has to play against Slither. And so if Seb wins his game, no matter what, he's going through because he has the superior head-to-head. Even if Spectre wins his game, he has to hope that Gigi can beat Seb to make it through. So yeah, that is a very tough situation for a Spectre to be in, where he is forced to win and is waiting for another result on the other game to try and make it through. We're going to check the fixtures over there for that. Starting with Group A, Elibungo is going to play against Steve. Eli, if he wins that game against Steve, tops the group no matter what, no questions asked. And Steve is kind of forced to win that game to try and make it into the playoffs. Doodle against Psychic, another game where the winner makes it into the playoffs and the loser is potentially eliminated. And Mats playing against the eliminated Savutian. Mats has to win, and we'll have to see what happens between head-to-head and tiebreakers to see who makes it in the final match day. I think that a lot of crazy combinations could happen in this group. I don't know if anyone has thoughts on these matchups.
Yeah, I mean, I think Doodle versus Psychic will be the main one to watch, because I think that if we're talking on terms of performance so far, I think Doodle, Psychic, and Elibungo are probably the 3 who are deserving of it as of the moment right now to go through. But of course, head-to-head could play a big role in the final outcome.
Indeed.
I would agree that Doodle and Psychic, that's probably the one to. Well, they're all worth watching, but like that's the one in the sense of if I had to pick one, but also it's a simple one to understand, given that they're on the same kind of situation aside from like goal difference. Simply win or go home. If Steve wins, then that makes things complicated for me. But with mine, I simply have got a lot to win. And had Savutian won, it would have been the same kind of situation as Doodle Psychic.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of just have to win and hope for the best. Eli, obviously, in the best position out of everyone, already qualified and with a chance to top the group with a win. AL, yes, you might have joined a bit too late, but if you want to go back on the replay after the stream is done, that was a crazy battle. Yes, that did take place, and that's why we are in this situation right now, where both of them are on 2 wins. and everything is yet to be decided in the final match day. Moving over here to Group B, as we were talking about, Slither against Spectre and Seb against Gigi are the two matches to watch to see who is the final person to make it into the playoffs out of Seb and Spectre. Seb, having the superior head-to-head, is the one who is favoring this, and so as long as he beats Gigi, he's going to be in the playoffs no matter what. Spectre has to beat Slither and hope that Gigi gives him a hand by beating Seb to make it into the playoffs. And then finally, Titanes against myself, the battle to see who finishes first place. I'm already secured into the playoffs, but if I win, I can finish top of the group. And Titanes, if he beats me and continues his unbeaten run, will top the group and get that bye into the semifinals. I don't know, Titanes, any thoughts on that battle against me, out of all people?
I think I just realized this as well. It'll also be Manchester United versus Liverpool also.
Well, it was like that this week as well.
Yes, Seb is the other Manchester United fan, so I'm already up in the Liverpool against Manchester United matchup. But yeah, it's gonna be another one. Obviously, we're both in the playoffs, so like there's not much at stake in terms of being eliminated, not much pressure. But topping the group is huge because you had to skip a whole round and play in the semifinals directly, so it's a big deal.
I'm assuming in the quarterfinals, I'm assuming you play either second or probably, for me, it'd probably be third from Group A.
Potentially, yes, depending on how that one plays out. So yeah, as I was saying, the math for this group is fairly easy as I explained the scenarios that can take place. Seb has his fate in his own hands. As long as he beats Gigi, nothing else matters for him. And yeah, that battle between the two top of the group, between me and Titanes, will be the highlight as well.
Yeah. Also, I think that the fact that I have to have a perfect record to top the group, I think that just shows that how the level of like the top four in this group, the level which is there in between.
Yes, obviously. That's just how it goes. I remember that last season as well, I topped the regular season because I beat Seb in head-to-head, and the only loss that Seb had that entire tournament was to me. And so it was the same situation there for Seb. He had to beat me to get top the group on a perfect record. It is what it is. When there are so many good players, yeah, sometimes you need to have a perfect record. So yeah, that's how it plays out. It can be very, very rough, but Titanes has shown it so far that he's capable of doing that, as he has won every single game. One more win is definitely a possibility for him to top the group with a perfect record. Thank you to everyone who joined. This has been a very, very exciting match day. We saw a lot of upsets, crazy matches, crazy plays, drama, people eliminated, people qualifying. Insane match day, and it's still everything left to be decided on the final match day. Anyone has any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
Absolute cinema.
Oh yeah. I forgot to say, for the final match day, me and Renk, we're actually going to know the results. So everyone else will not know the results unless you obviously compete in the battles. So basically, everyone will see it basically live. Basically next week, like you're going to see it live for the first time. So that's going to make things interesting. We thought we were going to do that, and we may do it for the knockouts. I don't know. We'll see. I guess for the knockouts, but for match day 5, it will definitely be like that. So it should make things very interesting. I'm very much looking forward to this one. And yeah, may the best win. Let's put it this way. And as Titanes said, this is a cinema. This is like a movie.
Absolute cinema. Hey, Year of the Snake, baby. It's coming. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Amazing stream, amazing match day. And yeah, we'll catch you all on the next one. I don't know, AD, if you have any closing thoughts.
Yeah, let me read some closing comments from AO. Wow, I just saw the replay. Wow, Matt's outplayed Doodle with the exception of the deep frog. Yeah, I mean that was a huge upset. I mean, that might be that definitely caught me off guard. Probably the Seb on this format. I wasn't familiar with this game. 4 people in Group 1 are tied with points. Oh, I think Elibungo has something to share. If you
yeah, he had the full art EV card.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that EV.
Okay. All right. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. I'll see you guys next Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Peace out. Everyone, guys, like and subscribe.
Fantastic stream. Fantastic week.